Hey everybody, welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. Have you ever had this moment in your life where you're making good money and you only have $350 left over after all your expenses and thinking, what the F is going on in my life? If you've never had that experience, then congratulations. You can live through it vicariously through this video. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to magically turn $350 into $5,700 with this one trick. It's like a clickbait title, but it's not, right? And I probably need to do that radical cool voice when I talk about this. Go ahead and with this one trick, turn $350 to $5,700 with Velocity Banking, which is what we're going to do right now. So, first of all, let's review what Velocity Banking is. All it is a debt payoff strategy where we pay off our debts using lines of credit as a main tool, right? And there's only two things that we need to do. Our first one is a budget, which is what we have, right? So we got 10 credit cards, and I summed the credit cards up as $167,000 of credit card debt. How much credit card debt do you have? Is it $167,000? If you could borrow up to $167,000 of credit card debt, you probably have good income, right? Maybe you have $10,000 of income. Some people who reach out to me have that kind of income and they say they're broke, right? And so I don't know about you, right? But if I made this money and I only had $355 of savings left over a month, I'd be freaking out. I'd be like, oh, what am I doing with my life? You know? But here's the thing with Velocity Banking, we're going to turn $350 into $5,700 in just one swipe. Okay? And there's two things that we assume when we're doing velocity banking. Number one, same income. Number two, zero savings. And this is the part that trips up a lot of people. In fact, when I talked to my mom and I told her I have zero savings, she thinks I'm insane, right? But here's the thing, I'm not insane. I'm just doing velocity banking. And when I do velocity banking, I don't need no savings. My line of credit is essentially my savings account. So this goes back to requirement number two. We have a budget. Number two, we have to use a line of credit as our main operating account. And what is a line of credit? All it is a financial tool where you can borrow money, pay it back, and use it over and over again. Like a credit card, right? You borrow money, you pay it back, and use it over and over again. Now, there are different types of lines of credit. The most accessible one is the credit card. But there are other ones like personal lines of credit, home equity line of credit. Now, let's say because we make such good income, once upon a time we bought a great house in a nice area, and the home maybe is around a $300,000 home. Let's say a $300,000 mortgage, but then it became like a $600,000 home. I don't know. Maybe we bought it in 2020, and then now it's 2024, and magically became a $600,000 home. Happened in a lot of places, right? You know, I remember when I grew up in California, my parents bought my childhood home. It was around $280,000, and then I went to California last year, and the home across the street sold for $1 million. I think it happened to a lot of you who grew up in the Bay Area as well, right? So it's crazy how the prices of things can seem to have rapidly changed in an instant. Now, what is my whole point of just talking about home values? Well, you can get this thing called a home equity line of credit. It's basically a line of credit based on the value of your home minus your debts, right? So you're basically putting something called home equity as collateral, and the bank will let you borrow up to a certain amount, almost like a credit card, right? And but the beauty of this credit card, unlike a regular credit cards have restrictions, right? I can't pay credit card one with credit card two. I can't pay credit card one to pay off the mortgage, but if I have a home equity line of credit, I can pay whatever I want. So let's assume I got a 10% $200,000 home equity line of credit, and I'm going to show you where this one trick to turn this 355 into 5,700 lies. Okay? Because what we're going to do is we're going to move all this credit card debt 1 to 10, and this is $167,000 of debt. We're just going to do a simple debt transfer into our line of credit, right? We've been insane bad by spending $167,000 in credit card debt. But let's just move it to the home equity line of credit, okay? So what happens when we simply do a debt transfer? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. This all magically turns to 0, okay? Now, let's calculate our cash flow. Oh my goodness, 5,700, mind blown. Now I didn't even make more income. How did I go from 355 to 5,700? Oh my goodness. That was easy. And here's the thing, if you want to replicate this yourself with your own values, go to bankrate.com, minimum credit card payment calculator, put in the amount and the interest rate, and then they'll give you this payment, right? But by simply doing a debt transfer and changing my main operating account, right? See here for the average American, the main operating account is checking account. Money comes in, bills paid from checking account, and essentially by when you're in this situation of doing something called segregation of income, your payments are spread out the wazoo, right? And you're making minimum payments on everything. Whereas if you're doing velocity banking, okay, you're putting your paycheck into one place, which is that line of credit right here. Okay, so $10,000 in, $4,000 out, and 5,700 of cash flow. Right? Do we make more money? No, we just need a tweak to what it is that we were doing and saying. All right, so I want to show you how to calculate this line of credit calculation. So the next month is just the previous month plus 1. The next month's balance is the previous month's balance plus the previous month's interest minus that cash flow. So our cash flow is 5701.35. Okay. Now what we got to do is calculate the interest. So let's go ahead and calculate that, which is going to be based on the average daily balance. So when we put our entire paycheck into that line of credit, that minimum payment is going to be satisfied. So we have to take that into account, right? We have to take that into account. And it's going to minimize the interest because the interest is calculated based on the average daily balance. So we're getting estimated by using this average function, multiplying it by the interest rate. So in my experience, home equity line credit interest rate is about 10%. If it's second position, might be cheaper it's first. And then we divide by 12, right? Because it's going to be based on the monthly interest. And then now we just copy and paste, right? So this is going down until this sucker goes to 0, okay? And then as you can see here, it took 34 months to pay off this $167,000 of credit card debt. 34 months. And how much is 34 months? A little bit less than 3 years, right? So again, there are people out there who are making videos of, I paid $10,000 credit card debt in about 10 months, right? We paid $167,000 in about little less than 3 years. So what we got to do is just right here as a milestone, 2.8 years and 167K of debt paid off, right? And then we just do that for all the credit cards. And oh my goodness, the last thing that we have is essentially the mortgage. And at this point, I'm not going to explain it because here's the thing. I've gone over other videos, but what I want to do in this clickbait video, right? Clickbait. This is awesome clickbait, but it's real clickbait, right? It's like magic. I just want to emphasize this. This 355. This 355. How do we go from 355 to 5,700 without making more income, right? That's the magic of velocity banking. And you'll notice on the clickbait thumbnail, I put in a magic wand and a magic hat because it seems like magic without really doing anything. We just magically changed this 355 to 5,700 and we can now breathe, right? We can now breathe. All right, well, this is Korean Atlanta Mentorship. If you're interested in joining a group and not only about want to learn velocity banking, but other things like buying real estate at a discount, possibly learn about the ins and outs of investing in real estate with your retirement account, and doing all these cool other things, right? Like in my own case, I bought a rental property at a $100,000 discount. I got a tenant to pay me 14 grand, my first real estate check as a landlord. I would have believed myself until it happened. Again, I don't guarantee those things, but it happened to me, right? But again, if you're interested in learning about those things, go ahead and click the Google Form link below. But other than that, let's just go ahead and marvel at this. Let's marvel how we went from 355 to 5,700. Is your mind blown? Because every time I see this, I'm like, dude, mind blown, right? All right, well, that's it for today. Have a great day, and this is Karina Lanta Mentorship again, and we'll see you on the next video.